I'd like to thank you all for joining us. My name's Maren Graham. Many of you know me. Those who don't, I head up the digital marketing practice here at Hudson. You all now know that you can chat with us, which is nice, and you also know that you cannot talk to us. We apologize for the technical issues, but you can send questions to Lyndy Burnham throughout the session, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have at the end. Well, to kick things off, I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to address the changes we've had here at Hudson. As you all know by now, we were acquired by Valsoft, a Montreal-based investment firm, back in May. I can tell you they've already invested a substantial amount of time and resources into helping us move to the next level. Internally, it's been dubbed Hudson 2.0, and while we're not there yet, we have made good progress in moving in that direction. It did require a lot of change, though, and change can definitely be difficult at times. This transition has not been easy on any of us. I know that it's been difficult for you as well. There's been a lot of uncertainty. There have been leadership changes, staffing changes, a reorganization, introduction of all new processes and procedures. And while it wasn't easy, it was absolutely necessary. It was necessary for us to grow and to evolve and, quite frankly, to become a better technology partner to all of you. That survey that many of you took back in June, it really struck a chord with us. It was a reality check. And I can assure you that we heard you. Valsoft heard you. We needed to do better. And doing better required a lot of change. And while change can be difficult at times, it can also be very positive too. I want to share one example with you of how things are changing for the better. I've been with Hudson for nearly 7 years now. And in that time, we've always operated as 4 distinct business units that operated in silos. We weren't a team. If you asked me what development was working on, I couldn't tell you that. If you asked me to check on the status of a development item, I wouldn't be able to give you that answer either. If you called in with an issue on your system, I didn't know if it was for support or if it was for deployment or who it should go to, and I'm guessing you didn't know either. But that's changed. Valsoft doesn't operate its companies that way. They believe in collaboration and open communication across their companies. So they've broken down those departmental barriers, they've reorganized the company, and they've ushered in a new culture. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to our new leadership team, and they're going to share a lot more about the transformation that's going on within Hudson. Before I do that, I'm going to briefly introduce you to a couple of key individuals that you'll be working with a lot in the future and you'll be hearing from today. Skawinski has been with Hudson pretty much since the beginning. He heads up our development team and is one of the founding architects of the Hudson system. His team is continuously working on improving our existing systems and delivering new technology. And I say that, and I want to stress that, because I've heard the rumors that we're not developing any new technology. That's simply not true, and I'm here to dispel those rumors today. They're absolutely building new technology, and in a few minutes, you're going to see some of it. In fact, the feature that they're going to be showcasing today actually originated from a client. And what's pretty cool about that is that it really demonstrates what's changing within Hudson. Everyone here now recognizes the vital importance of including all of you in the development process. We're not building technology in a vacuum anymore. We're building it based upon what you actually need and what you ask for versus what we think you need. I also want to recognize Shaun Scafidi, who's brought together and cross-trained 2 different departments into one team over the past few months. And he's another individual that you'll be working with quite a bit, since he's now heading up what was technical support and deployment. Now, this was a daunting effort, but with guidance and support from Valsoft, he's done an exceptional job. I'll let our leadership team speak to some of those successes in a moment, but blending those 2 departments has allowed us to streamline that entire process so that we're able to close those tickets and deploy new technology faster than we've ever done before. We know it's still an evolving process and we're still working on it, but we are very much committed to the effort. And last, but certainly not least, on behalf of the entire Hudson team, I'd like to thank all of you for your continued patience and support throughout this transition. We know there have been a few bumps. We know that we still need to iron out those processes, but we truly appreciate your business, and we hope you've started to see the positive changes that are happening within Hudson. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Gaurav again, and we're going to get this started.
Thank you, Maren. All right, so very quickly, ultimately want to discuss the following items in this presentation. My name is Gaurav. I'm the president of the Hudson Group and general manager, but I have a larger role within Valsoft, which acquired the company, as Maren mentioned, in May of this year. Just before getting into the agenda and to the Hudson-related items, want to cover very quickly what it means to be acquired by Valsoft, who we are as a company. Valsoft itself started in 2015, June 2015, And then ultimately at that time, we were sitting on a bunch of capital from our founders. However, we didn't really have any software as assets at the time. We had a bunch of people that understood software, had worked in a lot of software companies, and we were eager to sort of tap into that human capital. So our first acquisition happened in 2016. You fast forward to today in December 2018, and we've essentially grown to 12 different companies that are operated in two distinct groups. The first group is the hospitality portfolio, which my counterpart, Mike Galassi, runs in Tampa Bay. And then my portfolio, which consists of Hudson being the latest acquisition in May of this year, which is the industrial and transportation portfolio, which includes 4 other companies outside of the Hudson Group. The other thing I want to mention is Valsoft as an acquirer is a long-term acquirer. We do not use debt to acquire businesses. Once we get it into a business, and specifically to Hudson's case, we've been talking to Mark Eustick for over 2 years to acquire and bring it under the Valsoft umbrella. Our intention is to keep it. And every decision that we make is, again, putting into perspective how it impacts the business 40 years from now. So sort of shifting gears into the actual presentation, one thing I want to mention is really introduce myself. Again, to reiterate, I was employee number 1 at Valsoft, at the time when we had no operations and no businesses. It's very exciting to see where the company is today with acquisitions like the Hudson Group. And I can certainly say that, we have a lot more exciting times ahead, and we've acquired a lot of very, very talented people through our acquisitions like Derek, Shaun, Maren, and so forth. So very excited to work with these individuals. Again, right now, my role is president and GM of Hudson Group, but I am the portfolio manager and group head of the industrial and transportation division at Valsoft. I'm also joined by my colleague, Gustavo Gomez. He's the VP of Ops at Hudson, but again, was sort of someone that I brought into Hudson a couple of months ago during the leadership change to enforce some very important policies, processes into the business to make it a stronger business. And he'll take over a certain part of the presentation down the line. So again, what does it mean to be acquired by Valsoft, and what are the fundamental principles of our company and all the companies that we operate as portfolio companies? The first thing that we do really believe in is client-driven, is to be client-driven, and everything revolves around our customers. So that essentially means providing exceptional service. The one thing that we noticed was we came in as a day-to-day operator with Gus and I in July of this year, and noticed that there was a daunting amount of backlog tickets into the system. And again, it's not trying to understand the symptom, but really the root of the problem. And it was interesting to see why that happened, and that's where we sat down with Derek and Shaun and Maren and really quickly understood that we needed to cross-train and really pass on a lot of knowledge that our deployments team had to our support team. And that's worked wonders in the last couple of months, and that's continuing to improve. And Shaun can speak to that if you guys have any questions on that down the line. But it's really helped to set expectations and provide essentially quicker support to our customers. The other thing we'd like to do is improve efficiency. We have a limited number of hours in a day. We have limited staff. How do we combine them together to create the best results? And that's where we combined our operations team together to really tackle this almost insurmountable issue of escalating support issues, which now is really an issue of the past, and ultimately driving really strong results in that department. The other thing that we felt was void when coming into the business was a lack of project management mindset for anything we do, whether that's custom development, rolling out a new feature, developing something, and that's something that Gus really provided a lot of value into. So if a customer comes in, we scope that project out, we understand how much it's going to cost, how long it takes to deliver that, what it entails in terms of involving the customer and the employees at Hudson, and essentially how do we get it to you as quickly as possible, but with ultimately a lot of quality as well. All these three things ultimately are meant to help drive better results and high-performing results, and creating a high-performing culture. And this really gives rise to high-performing employees in the companies, whether that's Hudson or 10 other companies. It's very easy to see those that take charge and want to improve and learn and grow, and those are the ones that have opportunities within our companies. So the other thing I will say, as it relates to how we operate our companies, we really do value customer feedback that we receive from you guys. Maren's going to run a satisfaction survey with all of our existing clients twice a year to really understand how we can be a better technology partner for you. So we ask that you're completely, blatantly honest, because that's how we're going to fix the issues that you currently face. And that's what's really allowed us to make the changes that we have made in the last few months at Hudson. So what's the new approach that we've taken at Hudson to really bring it to where it is now? Obviously, it's a work in progress. We're creating what we like to dub sort of Hudson 2.0, and we're not all the way there, but we're pretty close. And it's been exciting to see the people and this company grow to what it is today. And a lot of that had to do with some of these things that I've noted here. But the first thing that you guys have probably heard of is the leadership change. I talked to some of our larger clients, explained to them what had happened to the founder of Hudson Group. Obviously earlier than what was expected, we wanted to keep Mark on board and have him run the business for a certain time period. But we met with Mark in July. It became very apparent, and it was an amicable difference with him on how we should run the company. It was very professional, and we sincerely hope to have him on as a consultant and as an advisor down the line. But I'm happy to report that it's been a very positive transition for us, and the team here has really made all the difference for that. Beyond that, one of the things that we've noticed and we tried to impose is a new culture that sort of took shape on its own. How do we sort of establish a very results-oriented culture and environment? The people that are coming in and ultimately are ambassadors for the company, and ultimately how do we elevate them to take on more and contribute to Hudson 2.0? And that's been, obviously Derek, Shaun, that have really stepped up, and Maren on the digital services side and marketing side. And one of the things we noticed, the company is very, when we acquired it, was a very strong company, had strong foundation in many areas. We felt there were areas that could have been improved, and that was around the processes, procedures, and the workflows. And that's where sort of Gus entered into the organization to further strengthen it, and not only strengthen it, but build upon it down the line. So all of this to ultimately become a stronger, better technology partner for you guys and adapt to your needs down the line. So what does the new structure and the new team look like? Obviously, I've explained myself, my role, and Gus's role on the Valsoft level. We are very much involved in the day-to-day of Hudson, as it's a relatively recent acquisition for us. The one thing that's been a very different change for the team here is the operations team that you see there. Initially, that was comprised of two siloed departments, namely support and deployments. And Shaun was essentially the head of our deployments team, excelled in that arena. We quickly realized that, as I mentioned earlier on the presentation, that we could really crossbreed and combine both teams to gain better efficiency, better knowledge share, and better agility in resolving support issues and getting customers live into new features or new customers on board onto the Hudson platform. So he's done it phenomenally well at combining this, and we've seen this really help our support queue and provide a quicker turnaround time, and hopefully you guys have experienced that as well. R&D is still, spearheaded by Derek, who's essentially a legend in terms of the team here at Hudson, and he's created what is the software today, and he continues to modify that on a weekly basis with his team. One of the things that he's looking forward to do is really listening to you guys to understand how do we create a more client-driven R&D roadmap, and that's what we're going to talk about down the line, rather than just creating things and spending development hours on things that you may not need. Obviously, we have Maren, who introduced us to the webinar. She's not only responsible for our web services team, but is also the director of marketing at Hudson, and ultimately trying to brand us as the new company that we are, and engaging in various marketing initiatives to get our name out there, to get new clients, and ultimately cater to our existing ones as well. And then we have our sales team. Obviously, we want to grow as a company that allows us to have more cash flow to invest into the business, and that's comprised of Dan as well as our, as well as Lyndy, who's been around with Hudson for quite a while as well. So one of the things I want to close off with is really, something Maren actually said when we were going through the transition of Mark leaving the company. Obviously, that made some people uneasy within the organization. It made certain customers uneasy. For Valsoft, for myself and Gus, this is something that we'd gone through quite a few times, because a lot of companies that we acquire, typically where there's succession plan, they don't want to run the business anymore. So we're very comfortable with taking on companies and running them on a day-to-day basis. But again, one of the things that Maren mentioned to me that really stuck out, was very poignant, was, Hudson is more than, and will always be, and has always been more than one employee. And that holds very true. With people like Derek, who have, almost 2 decades with Hudson, over 25 years in the transportation industry, has really worked in that industry firsthand, understands what you guys need. With Shaun, leading our implementation team, deployments team, our support team, over a decade, not only using the Hudson system, but helping Derek create what it is today. We have quite a deep bench from that standpoint. And then finally, Maren, who, even before joining Hudson, was consulting with Hudson on the digital marketing side, and has a wealth of experience on in-ground transportation. So all this combined, plus the ones that, they're sort of those that report up to them, we have quite a lot of man-years of experience, and we look to tap into that as we grow Hudson and take it to the next level. So I'm going to pass it over to Gustavo, who's actually the VP of Operations, as I introduced him earlier in the presentation. And he's going to explain a little bit about what he's done at Hudson over the last couple of months.
Thank you, Gaurav. So for those who haven't had the pleasure of actually talking to you or communicating via email, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background of myself. So I was brought on board at a Valsoft level in the team of Gaurav, and my background is more in processes, operations, and project management. So that's been my toolkit, if you want to call it that, for the last decade, couple of years. And basically with that toolkit, I've been able to come in, and what I have to, and my goal and my objective was at Hudson, is to assist the team internally by making an audit and an assessment of what was the pain points from an operational standpoint, and also from a client satisfaction standpoint. So to implement the right tools, processes, and workflows in order to be able to optimize efficiency and also deliver better quality for our clients. So what does that mean? So it means that we have 2 sets of clients, like any other business. So we have onboarding of new clients versus new projects for our existing clients. So in a nutshell, what we're doing is that we wanted to streamline the process, make it more efficient from a Hudson standpoint in order to be able to cater to your specific needs. So it means from a new client standpoint, our sales process has been broken down into a three-step process, where we have the initial sales call, follow up by a technical call, and then we cater to a specific demo in order to be able to make sure that Hudson is a right fit for your company. Once that's approved, then an SOW and a sales contract is provided, and then the flow just naturally falls into place. With an internal kickoff call, the client kickoff call, then we go to everything that needs to be done for installation, configurations, and then all this process from a project management standpoint, it's probably the implementation engineer that is part of the team of Shaun that is going to be assigned to your project. And if we have some development requirements, Derek and his team is going to be able to configure it, develop it, and all of that is part of the phase of installation. Once that's done, the same implementation engineer is going to be able to do the training on the last step, so like that everything is fresh, and then we can able to have your sign off, go live, and then we hand it off to the same team, which is migration from support and evolution of the maintenance. So once that's done, then a new client becomes an existing client, and obviously day-to-day operations from an account management standpoint, what we really want also is to cater to those day-to-day operations and new business requirements. By implementing a new scope of work, it means that we can actually have a brief understanding exactly from a Hudson standpoint what are the requirements, putting in a SOW that is clear and defined, and that provides accountability from a Hudson standpoint and also from a client to know and understand what's implicated in order to be able to develop that and provide that service and deliverables to you. From that approval, then we do the development portion. It's a little bit similar to the install. So that's the process where we provide all the required elements in order to be able to do our mandate. We do an internal quality assurance. We provide then an instance for UAT, which is user acceptance testing. And once we have your approval, then we update your system, and now you're go live. And that streamlined process has had a very positive impact inside of our client base, where we've had some positive echoes of optimizing timelines, respecting the deliverables, and making sure that we do cater to your requirements. So if I break down a little bit what's exactly what a statement of work entails, is basically, in a nutshell, it reduces the assumptions, the scope creep, and the last minute changes in order to be able to better define a brief, the deliverables, the budget that the client has been informed of, and the timeline based on all the production and the pipeline that we have at Hudson. So that has been very efficient, and Shaun and Derek have taken this new approach very well, and the team also is really performing well. From Maren's and her team, the feedback of the clients is that everything is running a lot better with the clear deliverables and scope of work. So like that, there's no gray area that is left to be defined. In keeping with that mindset that Maren was saying, and Gaurav, we really truly want to focus more on open communication. And with that being said, that's why we reactivated the webinars, and instead of being a webinar 2 times a year, it's going to be on a quarterly basis. And those, the agenda of those webinars will be defined by basically the feedback that we get from our clients, and also the roadmap and the new features that we're rolling out. So like that, our clients are always informed, and they're always in the know of what Hudson is doing from a technical standpoint, and also from processes and evolution standpoint. So expect surveys in order to be able to get your pulse, get your feedback, negative or positive. This is actually very much important to Hudson in order to be able to better our services to our clients. From a leadership team standpoint, we want to be able to provide better communication, one-on-one follow-ups with our clients, with account management statuses, either on a weekly basis, quarterly, monthly. It will be on a case-by-case by a client, but this is something that we already started doing. And by all means, always our leads of our departments, Maren, Shaun, Derek, and myself, we're always open. If you have any questions, you want to just a spot check, feel free to reach out to us, and it'll be our pleasure to just make sure that we cater to your needs. And that being said, something that we really want to move forward with in 2019 that we're focusing on a lot is, again, a roadmap based on focus groups that we're going to be able to see what exactly our clients really require. And that's something that we are really excited about. And to be able to do that, we needed a good foundation. We needed good tools, good processes in order to be able to not just get your feedback, be able to execute on that in a more efficient way. Another thing that we are finalizing is implementing a new tool for our clients, which is team support. And that's a new ticketing system, which is really catered to business. So basically it means that we are right now in the process of finalizing and the implementation. We wanted to roll it out sooner, but we want to do things right, not fast. So we are taking a little bit more time and making sure that everything is configured properly. And that new interface is going to provide our clients better tracking, client dashboard in order to be able to see the status of your tickets, improve communications, and also make sure that we can have better tools in order to be able to understand your problems, while you can be able to attach PDFs, files, screenshots, videos, in order to be able to, for us, to better support and execute fast on the bugs or new features that you require. So from a timeline standpoint, if somebody's asking when will that be deployed, we are really working very hard in order to be able to deploy it mid-January 2019. So to Maren's point at the beginning of the presentation, to cut the assumptions that we're not providing new features or we're not developing new functionalities inside of our system, I'm going to pass the baton to our team of Shaun and Derek in order to be able to provide you a tech update. And by all means, at the end of the presentation, we would, if you can just take the survey and after the webinar in order to be able to provide us the first set of suggestions, so like that we can actually build our roadmap based on our clients' comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gus.
Thanks, Gus.
So Derek and I wanted to take a little time to review some of the more recent features that you may know about, but you may not have necessarily implemented, and want to make sure that you reach out to us if you're interested in any of these modules or widgets, and we can get that process started. So just to review what we're looking at here, I mean, we have a newer multi-affiliate module, which is a website module that we're using in place of RWD.
It's a more modern-based UI for the customers.
It supports a lot of newer features that you're seeing, Google Address lookup. Because we're getting a full address, we can do things like mileage-based pricing or travel-based pricing from information we get from Google. It is shopping cart functionality, so you can build a reservation shopping cart, different types of reservations, and then it's a one-step checkout. You put in your payment information and checkout. And we also have some yield pricing, if you don't know about that, but it's basically tiered-based pricing based off of what your capacity is and what the demand is in your vehicle.
And then from the customer's perspective, we have a bunch of mobile widgets that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, but there's Quick Confirm where you can actually send your customer a link the night before to have them, verify or confirm that that you have their booking correct for the next day. Quick Edit where you can send your customer a different link if they want to change or edit their reservation. You can combine these if you want. Ready to Go. This is a great feature for people that have high volumes of people coming into the airport. Instead of them calling you, they can actually mark themselves at their terminal and are ready to go and let you know where they are and how much luggage they have, so that you can quickly service them, so you don't have to type a phone line for that. Where's my vehicle? They can, after they mark themselves ready to go, then they can actually track where their vehicle is, so they can see it's tied in with the ready to go, so they can see okay, a vehicle's been assigned to me and it's on its way, and they'll know, like, okay, it's 6 minutes away, 5 minutes away, so they can see where they are, so the customer's not calling you looking for their vehicle. It tied in with that as well as like, who's my driver, which is a great way for them to understand like who's coming to pick them up, and they can be assured that they're getting in the right vehicle and that they're not their safety is their utmost importance.
You can utilize driver images as well.
So you got an image of the driver, and could have a picture of their license plate or whatever you need on there. And then after the trip's over, there's a couple things you can do. Rate my ride, where you can actually send the passenger a quick link so they can actually send you back a rating, which then you can do a lot with those. You can take those, and Maren's team has taken the Rate My Ride stuff and really has done a great way of presenting that back on your website for marketing, so you can actually filter out which ratings you want to show and which ones you don't want to show. So that's really easy to do. Just mark like, allow this one through or not. And then and another really interesting mobile widget that is just being deployed for the first customer now is a quick pay. This is where you can actually, if a customer gets in your vehicle and hasn't paid yet, you can send them a link to the reservation and let them actually enter their own credit card information on the mobile widget and pay for the trip right then and there, and then your driver will be notified that they paid for it. So that's
and you can enable features like they could add a gratuity at that point if they wanted to.
Right, yeah, that's great. Or send themselves an email receipt of what they just paid if they want.
Email Plus, which is our advanced email process where you can whitelist your domain. We have better auditing features, so you can see when customers have received the email, when they've opened up their emails.
Any bounce backs, and it works for invoices as well, which is really interesting. If customers telling you they haven't received their invoices, you can have an audit of that, so that they have received their invoices. We have more charter functionality, so you can manage a single reservation for a charter and actually dispatch out what we call sub-res from that one res. So you have a master res and you have sub-res underneath that you can dispatch out. Seat management, so we have for share ride companies who are selling share ride services and they have particular bus layouts, you can enable in some of our apps, you can enable a bus chart and they can select their seats like they selected from an airline. Client Center, we're always updating our Client Center features. That's something that we tend to put a lot of development time into just because it's the more your clients are managing their reservations for you, the better off you're going to be. We have some, you want to talk about driver bidding? Oh, driver bidding. So we have on the internal dispatch side, we have a bunch of different enhancements that we use for letting for jobs that you can't handle or things that you want to let your fleet actually decide, what they can pick up and when they can do it. There's self bidding, so you can actually put things out there and let drivers actually bid on there, whether it's first come first serve or based on their status and their priority when they can actually see what's available. So that lets things that or jobs you can't handle, you may want to put that out to a list of a list of people that are like second tier, farm out people that you might want to let them bid on those things. So if you have 5 jobs for tomorrow that you just can't cover, then you can actually open that up to bidding and then have basically affiliates bid on that. So that's really good. Auto dispatch. There's some markets you might want to let your drivers actually instead of having the dispatcher dispatch out the jobs, you can have the drivers sign into different zones, and then if they're in the right zone at the right time, they're the next person in the queue to actually get the job. And we have auto dispatch technology that will actually
alert the driver
and let them actually accept that job.
And you can do partial drivers, so it doesn't have to be, your whole fleet doesn't have to be auto dispatch. There's certain match keys and specific reservation types that you can enable for auto dispatching, and certain types of drivers in your fleet that you want to allow for auto dispatching. The affiliate center, I think we're going to get into a little bit more detail after this. We have DVIR, which is Driver Vehicle Inspection Report, which is something that you can enable for your drivers to fill out before they start their day. It can be launched from a web browser or a VMDT hotkey. It is customizable, so if you have your DOT regulations and you certain information that you have to require, we can configure those so that it's in there. It can be set up to be a pre and post layout, so just checking off that you actually reviewed the different criteria that the tires are inflated correctly and whatnot. And you can also have a layout where it's more of a defect, so you're checking off things that have defects. There's a local backend process workflow where you can manage those things. You can mark them as looked at. A mechanic has looked at them.
A failure can actually take the vehicle out of service, so that you don't actually put a vehicle that has a major defect in service and have the next driver come in and take it on the road. So it's a really good option.
Right, and then passenger driver apps, that's just our BMC apps and our iOS and Android apps, which we have available.
We keep enhancing those for the latest versions of iOS.
Right. And then all our different APIs, Grid and Ground Span, and we have a few new ones that we're doing.
Expedia is really good.
With Grid now, we have Wanderoo, which is a very popular one we've been doing recently. All right, we want to get a little bit into, we want to get in detail on the affiliate center, and not just the affiliate center, but really the overall flow of how you're handling your affiliate reservations, how you're assigning the reservations, how your affiliates are getting the reservations, how they're managing those reservations that you get them, and then how you can manage them as well. So a few slides for this. So we made a few enhancements up front in how you actually assign your affiliate. We have an automated process where you can, based on match keys, service area, service types, you can automatically assign an affiliate to a reservation. So if you know it's out of your service area, you can automatically assign an affiliate to that reservation when it's booked. You don't have to manually do that. And we have ways in which you can distribute that work. So if you're a Boston-based company and you're booking an LA job and you have 3 affiliates and you want to evenly distribute that work out to those 3 affiliates, you can actually set those percentages, and you can do that automatically without any manual assignment. Those can be that work can actually be set up so that it's you have affiliates that do airport work and you have other affiliates that do point-to-point work, and you can distribute those differently based on
service type too. Like you have an affiliate that only does high-end sedans or SUVs, then you might want to, if you're booking an SUV, then it's smart enough. You can configure to say, give my high-end SUV work to affiliate A instead of affiliate B.
Right. And so we've done a lot with that. There's a lot of flexibility with that. It uses our match key technology, which really there's a lot of different things like service type that you can base in the reservations.
You can actually assign those. And you can have a preferred affiliate for a VIP. So if you have a VIP that's going, one of your VIPs that's flying into LA and he likes affiliate B, you can put in his profile that affiliate B is the one to assign it to, so you can force that. So that's a really good feature.
And it's stored in the affiliate preferences, the profile preferences, just like your normal profile preferences are. We've also enhanced the manual assignment affiliates. So we've added a few buttons to the fare and availability screen so that you can use buttons instead of drop-down menus. It's a little more in your face. People like buttons. We can do things like you can change the color of the button if there's already an affiliate assigned. So it's a little indicator that there's an affiliate already assigned to this reservation or there isn't. We have a more advanced affiliate assignment grid where you can organize your affiliates based off of the airports that they service. So and then you can search by those airports. You can search by the affiliate's name. You can search by the region, by the service types that they offer. So we've made a lot of enhancements with that. It can be loaded from fare and availability button. It can also be loaded from a dispatcher hotkey. And then we're going to get more into the affiliate center now. So your affiliates, a common way to get your affiliate information is emailing the affiliate. We can automate that as well with the customized email that goes out to the affiliate when the reservation is saved, or you could manually send the affiliate that email. In the email, you're going to have some reservation details. You can also have a link to an affiliate center, which is a web-based application that's going to allow them to log in and view, edit, and manage that reservation. And it's as easy as just adding a contact to the affiliate profile. Very similar to what your client center is. So here's a screenshot of an affiliate center. It's using some newer client center technology, so you can actually display the tabs on the left side. You can't see it in the screenshot, but you can actually have an indicator of how many records are in that.
An alert number.
Alert number. So if you have a new reservation that's showing up, it'll show up there, and you know to click on that tab. These screens are customizable. The information that's displayed here is customizable. There's 2 tabs here. You can have more if you want to manage your workflow or your affiliates to manage their workflow a little bit differently. So in this scenario, the affiliate logs into the affiliate center and sees the reservations that you've assigned to them, and now they can actually interact with those reservations and update them. There's a one-click, a one-touch launch of the reservation details, which is what you're seeing here from the affiliate center. Again, the screen, the information that's displayed in the screen is customizable. This is the default screen, but as you can see, you can add more information here. We have the basic information like the pickup date, service type, name, passenger count you could have in here, things like that. And then there's some other information that you'll see you can actually require and ask for. So the same screenshot in this scenario, the affiliate has now entered their affiliate reservation number. You know, a lot of you require that. You want to know what the affiliate's reservation number is when they confirm the job with you. So you can require that information to be entered here before they accept the job, and then they have a button to hit accept and accept that job and move on. At that point, the reservation has been accepted, it's been updated for the affiliate in their affiliate center. It can move to the next tab, in this case, the job assignment tab. That's why we're seeing it down there. And it's ready for the affiliate to actually assign their driver and vehicle to the job. There's a screenshot of a dispatcher in your local system. So in real time, as the affiliate's doing these things, it's updating your dispatcher. In this case, what we're looking at is the 2 reservations the affiliate's been assigned. They have not been updated yet, but they have been sent. So we have a pending status indicating the affiliate has the reservation, has not accepted it yet. Now we can see that the affiliate has accepted that reservation. They've gone into their affiliate center, accepted the job. It shows in real time in your dispatcher that a job is accepted. If the affiliate had entered a reservation ID, that would also show up here in their affiliate res ID. These screens are laid out in a generic way. These can be set up inside your existing dispatcher system so that you can manage these, whether it be a separate grid or inside of your existing, your non-affiliate work. The dispatcher has the same functionality that the affiliate from the affiliate center has, so they can also accept reservations. They can also update the affiliate reservation status.
So this is for like your non-techie affiliates that aren't going to log in someplace. You can, if you talk to them over the phone, you can have the person talking on the phone just do the same manual functions for them over the phone, so that you're not, because not every affiliate's going to want to log in or do something. So for those guys,
yeah, they may just reply to that email you send them to accept it with the affiliate ID, and you could actually update that information yourself. This is the reservation allocation screen. This is where the affiliate back on the affiliate center can assign their driver and their vehicle to the reservation. This is customizable as well. This is the default mode that we've come up with, but it displays the reservation information up top, and then the affiliate can fill out the driver and vehicle information below that. In this scenario, we have the driver name and driver telephone number, which is probably the most critical for what we're going to be showing later. but you can also request vehicle information as well, vehicle name, vehicle registration number. We can also ask for things like the make, the model, the year, the color. It's customizable. We have all those fields that we can capture. If that's
So when your customer calls you looking for the information on what vehicles assigned, you'll have all that information at your fingertips.
You'll have that, and you can also you could include that in things like SMS notifications to your customers, so you automatically send that information to them. You wouldn't even necessarily have to take a call to give that information to them. As I mentioned, the dispatch has the same functionality that the affiliate center has. So this is a screenshot of the dispatcher detail of that affiliate job. The information the affiliate is assigned to that reservation that you gave them. In this case, you could update it, you could just view it, and you could also, again, going back to the scenario where the affiliate's not using the affiliate center, you could go in there and you could add this information yourself. And remember, these are drivers that you do not have in your system. These are affiliate drivers that you're not maintaining because you're not trying to maintain the entire fleet of every affiliate that you have. So this is information you can just one-off put in for that one reservation, so that you have the information, so that you can get that information. You can use that information to get to the driver, and you can also provide that information to your passengers. So this is kind of
So go back one slide.
I think we missed one. There we go. So back to the affiliate center. The last step in this process, now that the affiliate has accepted the job and they have assigned the driver vehicle information, is they can now send the job to the driver. Now this is the big piece that we have in the development lab right now we're working on. The affiliate has the capability to send reservation information to their driver, and their driver has the capability of clicking a link, whether that's via SMS or email, and updating that reservation for you without using any installed app, just merely loading a web browser and using the web app that we load.
So that's what we're calling our driver affiliate app, or affiliate driver app. It's a mobile-based browser app, 100% web-based, that requires no login. What we do is we send the driver an encrypted link that is only used for a very short period of time for the length of the job, basically. And they can just load that link right away, view the order, accept the order, so they can come in, they can see what the information is, the information you want to present to the driver, so that you make sure that all the right information is presented to the driver. So any special notes that you need the driver to know about, you know aren't getting lost in translation between you and the affiliate and the driver. So this is something you can customize what you want the driver to see. Hide internal notes you don't want them to see, you can hide those and not show those. You'll know right away as soon as the driver sees this and they accept the job, you'll know that the affiliate's driver actually read and accepted the job, which is basically confirming that they have the job. So you can feel rest assured that, hey, the affiliate's driver has read the job. You don't have to did the affiliate give the job out or not? I know, some large affiliates you're not worried about, but some of the smaller guys you might be worried that is it really being covered on time or not. From here, once they accept the job, we can start tracking that with GPS where that driver is. So right through the web-based app, we can track and see where they are. So the back-end dispatch knows where that driver is, and you can track and know when your customer calls, you'll know where the driver is on the way in.
So your dispatcher maps are going to work for these drivers and vehicles that are affiliate drivers of vehicles that you do not have in your system. So your dispatcher maps will work. Where's my vehicle that you're sending to your customers will work. All for these reservations that you don't actually have. You're not tracking these drivers through a VMBT app that they have to install.
And the progress of the status that you want to collect is configurable, but it's the default is the normal status of accept, en route, on location, on board, and dropped off, so you know it in real time. Every time the driver actually pushes one of these status buttons, we capture that GPS point as well, so we know where and when he pushed them on location. So if he pushes on location, he's not really on location, you'll know that. So those are some really good features of this app.
And so for this screenshot, you can see the progression of the reservation as the driver's updating the statuses. Again, the whole time they have this loaded, we're tracking the GPS coordinates, and as they're updating their statuses, your dispatcher's updating the trip statuses, and you're getting the GPS coordinates of when they actually updated that status. This is a typical trip status order that we would see. It's the default, but our customers tend to vary on what their different statuses are, so this would be configurable. What you see here is just an accept, and then they would do it. The driver would do an en route, an on location, on board, and dropped off would be the normal process that we would go through.
And all these status changes can trigger a back-end message, so you can send a message out to the customer or to someone. Like when they push dropped off, you can send at that point when the dropped off status message comes in, you can actually send out another message to the customer to make sure that they rate your ride at that point or whatever you want to be. So.
Excellent. Derek, Shaun, Gustavo, Gaurav, Maren, thank you very much. At this point, we're at about 55 minutes of the hour from the time that we started the presentation. Second time. And we'd like to open it up for some questions. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask on the topics that we presented here, or something specifically of our executive team or development team or marketing team, feel free to go to the chat window that you have in your browser and select Lyndy Burnham as the co-host and type your message in. I'll give you a minute or so to pose and type your questions in if you've got them. We thank you very much for attending today, and we'll also be posting a recording of this presentation on or link to it on our Facebook page. So look for that within the next 24 hours. We have a question from Jim. Jim is asking, does the Affiliate Center integrate with other limo software other than Hudson? One of the things I know we can certainly talk to is Hudson has recently expanded its integrations with companies like Grid and others, so you do have the ability to share reservations across platform with other companies using other technologies. Any question, Jim, about, any questions? Any comments, Derek or Shaun, about the ability to link the Affiliate Center to other limo software systems?
At that point, we would use something like a gateway, which is a Grid or a Hudson to Hudson gateway.
Okay.
So, but they could be run in parallel.
Ryan is also asking, basically, therefore, if this application is integrated directly with Grid, and I think the answer to that is no, right? The Affiliate Center technology isn't really directly. If Grid sends us back a trip status update, it will update in the Affiliate Center. So it is, okay, because it's the same order. So in theory, they're linked. We have Ryan on board who's asking who, and I'm guessing Ryan, you may be asking about Grid and what Grid is. Maren, would you like to just sort of make a comment about what Grid is as a system or a technology?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm reading two different questions at the same time. So Grid is a platform that allows you to essentially, a gateway essentially that allows you to,
network.
Yeah, it's an affiliate network that allows you to send and receive jobs between companies who are using other software platforms. Hudson currently is fully integrated with Grid, two-way, right?
Two-way.
Yeah, two-way now. I'm not sure if we can disclose which clients are already using Grid two-way, probably not. So I apologize, Ryan, but we can't answer that. But it is in full operation with clients today, two-way.
Yeah, what I can say, I think, to that, without answering who's integrated, we have actively 5 in production and 3 active already in the network of Grid. So in a general standpoint, how grid works from fees transactions, any company needs to create an account with grid, and then the reservation fees are taken from grid. So basically everything is just, all the reservation fees are managed through the account management through grid. And from a Hudson standpoint, what we do is just we do the integration with that platform for our clients.
We have a question, and maybe Gus, this is for you. How will Hudson prioritize getting our existing clients on board with some of these new technologies, especially if, like, after an event like this, a lot of people come to us and they all want something or to get updated at the same time?
Absolutely, and that's something that we really truly want our clients to be able to benefit from all these services and features that we have. So what I would like is basically send us your request. I don't think we have an email there, but I think we can send it off the e-blast after that to who to contact. I think to funnel very well and to answer that question the most efficiently is send us the features that you would require, and then after that we will send to you a scope of work, and we'll specifically provide you the timeline in that scope of work to reflect when you can have it available in your system. So it's not a queue of who's going to come first, who's going to come after. It's just a question of the production pipeline that Hudson can handle based on the volume of new scope of works that are coming in, and new features also that we need to roll out in order to be able to update our services. Did I answer your question correctly?
I think so. I think that's good, Gus.
Okay.
We have a question here from Jim about the cost for affiliate trips. Is there going to be a charge for sending or a charge for receiving if you're sending trips to an affiliate?
I think that was the same question on what is the fees for grid. So basically, I think I answered that.
Okay, yeah, you said with account grid, there's fees to pay.
No. But if you're using the Hudson Affiliate Center,
we're not going to charge them.
where Hudson doesn't charge then for sending or receiving
Nothing
to
will be on.
Hudson affiliates. Okay. David is asking if he can take reservations for any operator who uses the Hudson system. I'm going to I think I'm going to take a stab at that one. Basically, David, if you're using the Hudson Affiliate Center and you have an established affiliate relationship with any other or all other Hudson users, then the answer to that is yes. Any reservations you take, you'd be able to share or send to an operator in another city, using Hudson, as long as you have a relationship with them.
So I think there's a question from Linda on user group meetings at trade shows, similar to a lot of technology companies in our industry and various other verticals that we're already in as well. So the answer to that is yes. We want to be more present at various trade shows and conferences, industry events. Like I said, I've gotten to know Hudson and technology very well in the last few months, and I really do think that it is one of the, if not the best out there in the industry, and I want to expose this to everyone out there. The priority is obviously, we're a company, we have cash flows to manage, expenses to manage. So for us, as Shaun, Derek, Maren, and I, and Gus, it's, where do we go? Which ones are going to render the highest ROI in terms of attendance and which will generate the most leads? But ultimately, we are going to get out there. We are going to market ourselves a little bit better than what you guys are probably used to. And Maren, you can chime in if there's anything else I missed on that.
I would say that we're going to probably try to do a blend of both between these web-based webinars from our corporate offices, and then we're certainly going to try to do these at trade shows when it's appropriate. Our challenge is that we also work in a lot of other verticals, and so not all of our clients attend the limo shows. So it's important that we try to connect with as many of our clients as possible, so we'll probably try to do a blend of both.
Yeah, and there's one more question. I'll address that now as well. As will all these new features that we're presenting here, will they be billable? With everything that we developed internally in-house with Derek's team and Shaun's team, the one thing that hopefully a lot of you guys will be able to appreciate is it takes a lot of man hours, it takes a lot of, sometimes man years to develop these features and these modules. And then obviously, we're a business, so there will be some level of charging. We try to keep them as low as possible to ultimately, in Gus's eyes, to charge setup fees or implementation fees. And from what I gather, they're not too burdensome or excessive, and we like to keep them fair for everybody. So it will depend on the type of features that we're rolling out that need to be implemented. It will depend on the customer situation as well. So thank you for that question as well.
Last question we have, and then we'll wrap it up because we're right at our 1 hour mark. Ryan is asking if Hudson has any plans to open the API to integrate with any other software or OTAs. Hudson does have an established API. We'd be happy to talk about other people and other integrations. I know Shaun has actually done a great many of these.
Yeah, recently we started looking into an API with a fleet management company, Samsara. So that's something that we're actively pursuing. We don't have a timeline on it yet, but we are looking into that, into development needed to write that API so that we can actually receive GPS coordinates from their devices.
Okay, well, I think that we still probably have a couple more questions out there. What we will do is we will respond to all of those privately after the webinar. We want to respect the timeline here as much as possible since we got a late start. But I want to thank you again for attending the webinar today. We are looking to host these on a quarterly basis. And please be on the lookout for that survey. It is important that we get your feedback. It should be coming out within the next week or so. And also important to note, one person in your organization does not alone have to take the survey. Please forward it to your other employees and your staff members. We want to get as much feedback as we can. If you have any other questions or suggestions or ideas that you want to share, you can always send them to marketing@thehudsongroup.com, or you certainly can reach out to Derek, Shaun, myself, Gus, Lyndy. Any one of us would be happy to take it under consideration. And then last but not least, we just want to wish you all a very happy holiday season, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you all.
Anything?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to, on a closing note, just say thank you to the clients at Hudson for your patience in this transition. I know it hasn't always been smooth, but rest assured that we are putting the right foundation in order to be able to serve you better in 2019. And I think, to Maren's point, we truly would like your feedback. I'm not here to judge what was past administration. I'm here to just say what the future holds. And I think, once again, I extend my gratitude in order for you to be able to be patient with the transition. And I wish you all the best in this holiday season, and hope to work with you in the next future. Thank you very much to all.
Excellent. Thank you all very much for joining today.